This is Lindsay. It is Thursday, April 10th, 2025. And I'm going to talk more about this gang stalking program of harassment and surveillance and basically exploitation. So obviously, in my case, and this is all very real, what I'm talking about, I have made some people really angry by exposing them for what they've done to me and how they've taken advantage of my vulnerabilities and exploited me in ways that were uncomfortable. And I talked about the narcissist. He was a sex pervert, an addict, sex addict who was exploiting me and taking advantage of me, leading me on, future faking, all the kinds of things that people do to lure you into a fake relationship so they can get what they want from you. And that's what narcissistic people do. They use people for a period of time to extract that person's energy or to make them try to trauma bond you to that person. And so, of course, I had changed my phone number, right? I changed my number and told this person, fuck off, I don't want to see you anymore, it's over. And then he kept coming back, right? And he came back the last time that he had, when I had changed my number and all that, he was asking for my number. I said, no, I'm not going to give you my new phone number. And then he said, well, I'm going to come back later on. I said, you can come back, but still not going to give you my number. And he showed up later on that day. This was about a week ago, knocking on my door, and I just ignored him. And I had been to the brake check earlier that day to get my car worked on. And so I just ignored him, and I watched him drive off really angry. He was in a rage when he drove off from here because I didn't answer the door. And so then I changed my number. I had already changed my number, but I didn't give it to him because he kept asking for it. At that point, I had already changed my phone number. And so then a couple days later, I apparently, and I did, he was knocking on my window or door at like 7-something. And I thought I heard something, but I wasn't sure. But lo and behold, it was him knocking on my window or door at like 7:30 p.m. one night, several days ago, supposedly when he was getting off of work. And of course, I was in bed and I wasn't going to get up and get the door because I didn't know who it was, and I wasn't even sure what I was hearing. If it was, you know what I mean? I was very tired and just wanted to be left alone. And then, so yesterday, things have changed. Like, okay, anytime, what happens with these people is they're so controlling, right? These kinds of people are so controlling and want to control your life to the point where they're the ones who create all the flying monkeys and narcissistic shit that goes on, like all the crap that's been going on to me at Gold's Gym and whatnot, because they have a envy. They don't want to see narcissistic people. And I'm talking in this case, well, because I've made a lot of people mad, but they cannot stand it if anybody is doing well or better than them and happy. Okay, they don't like that. They don't want to see anybody prosper. They don't want to see anybody shine, whatever that's supposed to mean, or they don't want to see anybody doing well for themselves because it makes them mad, it makes them competitive, it makes them hate you, it makes them envious and jealous, and they have to turn everything into a competition. And so with this man, I've noticed that every fucking thing that I do for myself, he tries to compete with me and tries to make it look like he's better than me. Like, oh, you know, it's like a constant competition with these people. And any time you talk about yourself, if they ask you a question or you so dare is talk about yourself, they don't want to listen. They change the subject so that it revolves around them, and then they don't want to hear what you're saying. They aren't listening to you at all. They're basically just, you may as well be talking to a wall because they don't listen. And this is what I've noticed about this man is he has such severe ADD that he cannot focus on anything when he's around me except touching me. In anything that has to do with like physical stuff or anything that has to do with him, or if it has to do with him getting what he wants, but he doesn't listen to what I say. He never listens. And that's what these people do is they don't listen. They just they want to take your energy. They want to take your time. They want to exploit you. They want to mock you, insult you, catch you when you're upset or down about something. Maybe you're going through things, and this is when they come around to exploit you again, hoovering. They call that the reverse discard sometimes. or hovering or hoovering whenever they keep coming back to get even, or to do a what they call a heat check and all that kind of shit. And it's like a never-ending cycle with these people, because they can't seem to understand that, like, that you want to move on and that you don't want to have anything to do with them, because there's no definition of what it's such an ambiguous situation that you're in as far as how to define. They don't like to have a definition for anything. And if you dare so much as ask, is where do I stand in this relationship or this situationship? What is going on here? After 2 years, and it's like they still don't commit. They expect you to commit to them, but they don't commit to you, right? And so you're the one who's being loyal to that person, but they don't want you to see anybody else. They don't want you to talk to anybody else. They don't want you to do anything with anyone else, but they're allowed to. So, and they monitor everything you do. At least with my situation, I think that he was monitoring things that I was doing clearly, because he wanted to have total control over everything in my life, including, I believe, my assets, everything. And it was obvious. It's obvious that they want to control everything. What you eat, what you look like, what you dress, everything. And this is, when people are like that, it shows that they have either they want to exploit you financially, or they have an ulterior motive. And it's usually because they have some kind of perverted sex something that they're always using you for something, okay? With narcissists, they put you in categories. They have one category for people who, women or whatever, their supply, who are kind of like the homebody, who they can kind of rely on, who they know are going to be loyal to them. And they have the other category of people who they go out with and party with, who get all dressed up and go to clubs and bars with, right? Their work buddies or girlfriends, right? This is what they do. They basically live, they have a double life, completely trying to keep that from you. But because when you pick up on your instincts and intuition, that there's something off. Like, this person can be flattering and charming one day, and then the next day they're, but then they project it onto you, and you can tell that they're with other people. You can tell by their behavior that they're not, that something, you can pick up on these things, but they still lie to you. They'll keep lying to you when you confront them about questions, and then they turn it around to make it look like you're the one who's lying to them, or you're the one who's doing things to them. But no, you can feel that they're doing things behind your back by their behavior. You can just pick up on these things. You have instincts, and I don't. Look, I just don't like being fucking lied to, all right? I don't give a shit. Like, I don't want to be misled or waste my time and be lied to by somebody. If they want to do what they're doing, that is to say, fornicating with a lot of different people at once, doing crap like triangulation, having multiple sex partners, which is what they do. Narcissistic people, especially men, they can't ever be satisfied with just one person, okay? They get bored easily. They want adventure. They want to be instant gratification. They're very impulsive, and they get bored because they want variety. And I know this because I've been with other individuals who are very narcissistic, borderline psychopathic type personalities. They're controlling, demanding, very, very much oversexed. Most of them are somatic narcissists. And they want variety. They like polygamy, or the polyamorous. They don't like monogamy. And look, if that's how people are, fine, let them. But you know what? Whenever I've asked this man up front, have you been with other women since you've been with me? Have you been intimate with other women? Have you had sex with other women? He would flat out fucking lie to my face every time I would ask him that, because I know that he was lying to me. I know for a fact that he had been with other women, expecting me to be somebody who's there at his beck and call when he needs something from me, some kind of pleasure that he demands from me, that's just expected of me. But yet he's off there out doing God knows what with other women and lying to me about it. You see how insulting that is? It's like, just fucking tell me the truth, dude. But they won't tell you the truth because they want to keep you as a supply. They want to keep you in their garage or harem closet, even though, this is what they do. But they lie to you. And so of course, that puts the blame on me because I'm the one who, it's my fault for allowing this person in my house over and over again. Because, well, what are you supposed to do when they keep fucking knocking on your door? You've changed your number. You know what I mean? And they show up whenever they want. And it's like you can't really get rid of them. And they're demanding. And it's like you're almost like, what are you supposed to do? You know, it's like they put you in a situation that makes you, or in my case, makes me look desperate when I'm not desperate for him by any means, okay? They want to make it look like you're the one who's so needy. You're the one who's so, poor little Lindsay just needs... No, that's not how it is, but these people manipulate the fucking shit out of their targets, and they are very good at manipulating people because to get what they want, okay? And let me talk about what happened the other day, because they know that whenever you do a change in your life, whenever they pick up, they know because they watch everything you do and they're monitoring you, at least in my case. So anytime you have a change, you've done something different, they feel like that's their opportunity to come in and destroy you even more. Because, it's like they're trying to predict your behavior based on what you've done that day or where you were, all these things. But it's all about control. It's all about power and control. The bottom line is that they don't give a shit about you, your feelings, who you are. It's about them wanting to control the narrative of your life, about them wanting to control your assets, about them wanting to control your body, who you talk to, everything, where you go. And this is how they are. And this is why most of these men or people and women as well who are narcissistic like that end up alone. They end up very much, isolated because they can't handle not being in control of another person. They don't want anybody to have autonomy, which means individuality. They don't want you to be an individual. And if they do, if you are, they'll mock it. If you are somebody who's creative and different, they're going to mock you for that and exploit you for that and then pick on you and torment you and make fun of you about things about you that make you unique. Because this is what they do, because it's their envy. They're envious of people who have something that they want because they don't have it, and they use you. They're basically just using you as somebody to like get your energy or to be out to it's just really hard to explain. It's really weird, but you'll pick up on these things when you're around them in public. So what happened the other day, and I'm not even, I went to the gym. I go to the grocery store. I come home. I cook. I come back inside right after eating my lunch. They don't want you to fucking eat, by the way. They want to control every fucking thing you do. Especially food. If you're eating, they want you to remain like a little emaciated child. Because they don't want you, this is what they're very abusive. And they're projecting their own angers onto people whenever you eat, whenever you do anything. Self-care, they can't stand that because because you're not paying attention to them, right? So if you dare take care of yourself, it means that you're neglecting them. And they can't stand that. This is how fucking pathetic they are. So I'm in the middle. I come back. I had just eaten my fucking lunch, right? I'm coming back inside from the backyard, and there's a knock. As soon as I'm barely washing the dishes, there's a knock on the window, like on my door or window, whatever the fuck it is, because he has a way to get into my porch. He knows the combination to get into the porch. So he's knocking on the door. And he's like, Lindsay, it's Lewis. Open up. Lindsay, I want to talk to you. And I'm just ignoring him. Like, for at least 10 minutes, I'm not saying a word. I'm just completely ignoring everything, right? Just going about my business, acting like I didn't hear him. Lindsay, I want to talk to you. Come on, Lindsay, it's Lewis. Are you okay? I just want to see how you're doing. I just want to check up on you. I just want to see how you're doing. I want to see if you're okay. I'm like... And he kept saying that. I'm like, okay, whatever the fuck. So finally, I just put my music on really loud, and I just keep ignoring him. And then finally, he's still there knocking because he can hear my music. And so finally, I just turned the music down. And this was yesterday, which was Wednesday, April 18th, or 10th, sorry, 9th, sorry. And so finally, I'm like, what do you want, Lewis? I'm talking to him through the door because he's out there on my front porch. I'm like, what do you want, Lewis? This relationship is over. Go away. Please go away and leave me alone. Oh, I just want to talk to you. I miss you. I want to see how you're doing. He kept saying. Okay, I'm like, oh my God. What is it going to take for this man to realize that this is not conducive for myself or for him, that this is just harassment? It's just so that he, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, what do you fucking do? What am I supposed to do now? So I went ahead and opened the door, okay, and he's like, can I come in? Can I come in? I said, no, I'll talk to you from the out, you can stay out on the porch. What do you want? I just want to talk to you. I miss you. I'm like, well, okay, I don't care. And I said, I'm doing fine. What do you want? I don't need you. I'm doing fine. I don't need you in my life. Just go away, please go home. And I'm not even shouting. I'm just talking to him like casually, And then he's like, well, can I come in? Can I come in? I said, no. He's like, come on, let me come in. I said, you can only stay in that front room, okay? You can come in, but you're not getting anywhere past the front room. So he comes in, and then he's like, well, it's back to his crap, acting like, that we're a couple and that, like, how dare I not give him my new phone number and no, right? Like, woe is me. Like, here I am, Mr. I'm perfect and, oh, you have to give me your new phone number and no. I'm like, I'm not going to give you my fucking phone number. Because he's asking for my phone number. I'm like, no, I'm not going to give you my fucking phone number. You're one of the main reasons I had to change my fucking phone number. So I'm not going to give it to you. So he's pestering me about that. And then he's like, well, let's go do something. Let's go out. He's like, I know what we can go do. I've got to go do my taxes. I went there this morning and the line was so long over there at the library on Roosevelt that I decided to, leave. I was like, oh my God. He's basically talking me into going with him to go do his taxes. And so I'm like, whatever, fine. Okay, fine. I'll fucking go with you to go file your taxes, because apparently he found some place that's free that you can do your taxes. Something called Vita, something about doing some taxes or something. So I was like, and he's something he's asking me about. I was like, I don't fucking do my fucking income tax. I don't have anything, it's like he just wants to get information from me. And I'm just like, none of your fucking business. Why do you want to know all this stuff about me? I don't have a fucking, I tried to have a business that I had an LLC, which fucking folded over, because how can a targeted person have any kind of business in this city? Go figure, they're going to sabotage anything that I try to do to make money. So that went down the fucking tubes pretty quickly. So he's like, so anyway, I go with him to this place on Roosevelt, this library over by the drive-in theater. And we get there, and first of all, there's like a Tesla in the parking lot. He starts saying something about Elon Musk and Teslas. He's like, do you know that Elon Musk owns... I was like, no, I don't know. I didn't know that Elon Musk owns Tesla. How the fuck am I supposed to know that? I don't know anything about Elon Musk except that he's a billionaire from Canada, and he's got a bunch of girlfriends or wives or kids or something. That's about all I know about Elon Musk. And he lives in Austin. And I guess that's about it. I've heard of Tesla, but I didn't... Yeah, I know that Elon... I know that he's affiliated with it, but I didn't realize it. Whatever, he just starts, like, testing me about this shit. It's like, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about that right now, okay? I don't know much about this kind of stuff. I don't own a TV. I don't really... I just live a really mediocre kind of non-existence life of, that's how I am. And then he's asking me that kind of shit in the parking lot. Then we go in there, and the guy's like, he's like, well, I need to do my taxes. And he said, well, there's only one person doing it right now, so you're gonna have to I'm sorry, but they're not taking any more people. And he's like, oh, okay, fine. And I said, Lewis, why don't you just find another place? There's other locations you can go to on here. I said, why don't you go the one in the east side by where I live? Since you're all the way over, you came over here, why don't you just go the fucking place on the east side? because he acts like he's too good. Sometimes what he does, which is really aggravating about him, is that he acts like he's too good for anything around this neighborhood. Like he's better than anything around here. That's kind of what they have, this mentality that he's too good for going to the East Side Library or whatever, because I live in the fucking East Side. So he makes fun of me about that. They make fun of you about everything. It's always like I said, it's always a competition, okay, with these kinds of people. They always have to make sure they have a one-up on you whenever you've called them out for their bullshit, whenever you reject them, whenever you insult them or expose them. They want to come back to cause damage and embarrass you in some way publicly. So that's what he was kind of like, making sure that he could embarrass me in a way that was publicly insulting me. And so we're there in the parking lot, so we end up leaving. And he makes a phone call to this place, the other one that's on East Commerce. It's the Claude Black Center on East Commerce. So he makes a call. Supposedly that's who he's calling. He calls them, and apparently there's not a wait at all over there. So we go over there, and as I'm in the parking lot, I notice this black woman in a car, some kind of SUV, in the back of it, and it says recovery. Recovery? On the back of her car? A recovery? I could have sworn it said recovery. Whatever, something fucked up like that it said, okay? And I'm like, what the fuck is that about? Okay, and she was just like, it was all so staged. So that happened, and then we get in his car and we drive over to the location, this library called Claude Black Center on East Commerce Street. We get in there, and then he goes up to the front desk, tells him, that he wants to do his taxes or whatever. And so then we were waiting, and then by the time we finally get to go there, first of all, this black woman is saying something like, "Oh, are you Mr. Lopez?" Or it's like she kept getting his name mixed up, and her name was Jackie, by the way, and she was calling him Mr. Lopez. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? And her name was Jackie. She was some woman who worked there at the Claude Black Center. And then I notice all the people, there. I'm very, I pay attention to everything going on, and we're sitting there and waiting for him to do his taxes. And I'm like, what the fuck, this. I took up like 2 hours of my time with him doing this shit. It's like, why did he want me to go with him to do his income taxes? Okay, or why? It's really odd the way they are. It's like he's trying to. I don't know what the fuck, but it's like really weird. But it was very strange, because it's like, I'm not his fucking girlfriend. I'm sure as hell not his wife. But there's something that doesn't make sense. There's something going on where either this guy is still married or not fully divorced, and there's something going on that he does not want me to know about. I can see that clearly. There's something going on. And, I just honestly don't know what to fucking make of it, because it's like they're trying to make me look stupid and crazy and paranoid, when in fact it's like I'm just being set up to put me on the spot or something, That's what they do, to catch you in these positions to make you look crazy or stupid. And then I noticed there was an office at that place that was called Encampment Division. And there was a sign on the door that said Encampment Division. And of course, encampment, I was like, well, just weird. All this weird stuff was happening. Like, weird stuff happens when I'm around him in public, okay? He started talking about the Final Four, and then, basketball and crap like that, and quizzing me about basketball teams. I'm like, Lewis, I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention to basketball, really. I don't know. I don't really care either, okay? I'm not really that interested in basketball teams. So he's talking about how University of Houston was in the Final Four or something, the Cougars. I'm like, okay, cool, right on. All right, interesting. But I don't really care one way or another. I mean, I don't pay attention to college sports or pro basketball, really. I just don't fucking care, honestly. I mean, not really. But you know, I mean, if he does, fine. I'm just saying it's not really, I'm not. But everything is like, it's like they always want to, it's like I feel like with him, he just wants to kind of use me to kind of make me look stupid or make himself feel better. Or it's weird how to describe these kinds of things out in public with these people, because there's always weird stuff like that whole thing that happened yesterday. I was taking mental note of all the names, his documents, one of the names on this, he had this blue folder that had Mandolia name on it, some tax place where apparently he and his ex-wife used to do their taxes, and it said Mandolia on it. And then he opened it up, and it was like some Edith. The email was the first name was Edith. Edith was the name of my great-grandmother on my mom's side. Edith was also the name of this Edith Rosario Lopez woman who I worked for at Stones and Designers in Houston out in the Woodlands. You know, from Peru. The lady was from Peru. I'm just saying all these fucking names, and I was like, and then this Vita, Jackie was the name of the black woman. I mean, I know that these are common names. I'm just saying that, like, you know, I get triggered by names sometimes because it's like Jackie, and then I started thinking about Jackie, and then my deceased relative Alan, who died a couple years ago, back in 2023, how one of his girlfriends, who is named Jackie, from Aspen, Colorado. I'm thinking about that. All this stuff is running in my mind all at once. I'm like, oh fuck, you know, all this stuff. But anyway, so apparently, Dylan Ivy. So he's going to get some kind of a refund, right? Okay, fine. And then he's telling me how he's going to take his mother to Denny's, that he gets a senior discount at Denny's because he's 55 years old. I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. You know, awesome. And then when he's leaving, he's like, well, you know, I'll take you to, when I get my tax return, I'll take you to a fancy restaurant. I'm like, yeah, right. Exactly. I bet. I'm just saying, this kind of stuff is so weird, but I had to just make a video about this because it's just like, I can't keep up sometimes with these people. It's like, honestly, like, they don't seem to understand that sometimes I'm physically fucking exhausted and that I want to be left alone, but they don't seem to respect your boundaries. They don't seem to respect you sometimes, as far as like what they just are like whenever I'm around this guy, his energy is so hyperactive that I feel drained. Like, I use a lot of energy at the gym, and I've got my own vibe going on, and then it's like they come around and you just feel fucking exhausted sometimes, like mentally fucking exhausted, physically drained. And he's like, I have to see you every day. I'm like, I can't see you. No fucking way. I have to be by myself, you know? I like to be by myself. But they don't respect that. They don't seem to understand that, you know, it's really weird. And I just had to talk about this because I am so fucking it's like it's all so much gaslighting, and there's so much triangulation and so much lies that are going on that it's like, okay, this is just fucking, you know, I give up. I can't. Yeah, I talk about it in my videos, but it's just fucking crazy with these people. It's like they run you around in so many circles, so much mind fuckery and confusion and chaos that you're like almost like left thinking, there's nothing more I can do. There's nothing more I can do to try to help this person. There's nothing more that this person can't offer me anything that I don't already have within me or that I can't find on my own. You know, it's like, it's just kind of like a dead end that, you know, there's something wrong. You know that once somebody has betrayed you and lied to you, or you've cut them out or discarded them or whatever, vice versa, it's like there's just kind of like the trust is gone. That connection that you feel that maybe you once had in the beginning is gone. Okay, that whole fucking crap about this person being it's gone. It's not there anymore. The flame, the fucking soulmate shit, which was all a joke, it's gone. You know that it's off. You know that it's all, at this point, whenever it's like it's an act that they're putting on to try to win you back, knowing that they've been involved with other people lying to you and that they're just exploiting you. And it's kind of like futile. It's like a futile effort on your end to try to put any more energy into something that is not there anymore, that is dead. The flame is dead, so to speak. Because whenever you don't trust anybody, and you have to trust your instincts, whenever you know that you've been lied to and taken advantage of, and you keep letting them back in, which you do have to start to really understand that your intuition and your instincts about a person cheating and lying to you, you must go with how you feel, because that's your God voice, spiritual voice talking to you. And that always happens for a reason, because I know that I pick up on things, and I can feel when the energy around people, whenever they are not honest with me.